All right, let's talk some advanced statistics. Why don't we? What I'd like to do here is go through some quarterbacks' advanced stats, and really, I just kind of talk about the numbers and what I think they mean. But I also, I trust you as an audience member. If you come to a different conclusion, then I hopefully give you the information to do that, even if you disagree with my overall opinion on some of this stuff. But the numbers can be pretty interesting, and you can usually kind of figure out exactly what an offense is by looking at some of these numbers. So yeah, let's just get into it. First things first is going to be just kind of some various statistics, kind of nothing like no clear chart or anything, but just interesting categories that I tend to look at when looking at advanced stats for quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, the kind of obvious thing that has been going on this season is Pro Football Focus grade versus passer rating. He's kind of consistently been better than the numbers would suggest. I'm personally not someone who tends to pay much attention to passer rating or, God forbid, passing yards as a way to measure how good a quarterback is because I just think it's such a team statistic for me personally. It's not to say it can never be used in any situation. It's such a pretty good way to figure out how an offense did or how a passing attack did. But in terms of a quarterback, Mahomes is the great example. 14th highest passer rating this season. He's done much better than the 14th best quarterback. PFF says the third best quarterback this season. The PFF grade is including playoffs. I believe both are including playoffs, so that's worth noting. Turnover-worthy play percentage is, good. It's 14th best in football. That's a little bit above average, actually, because there's usually about 40 eligible quarterbacks, a little bit over 40 eligible quarterbacks, actually. So 14th best, definitely a good number. Nothing crazy, but, on the better side of where you want that to be. Big time throw percentage. Not that high. 23rd best in football. This is below average. Not much below average. It's around average is where it is. But still, for a guy like Mahomes, who's kind of known for his superstar plays, again, the obvious thing that Chiefs fans are probably screaming at me, which is obviously true, is, well, yeah, because of how teams play Mahomes, right? Like, they don't give up the deep stuff down the field. And if you're not throwing the ball down the field as much, well, you're not getting those big-time plays. Is that the entirety of it, though? Well, maybe we'll put a pin in that. We'll talk about it later. Adjusted completion percentage, third best in football. So again, that's completion percentage, but factoring in drops and things like that. ADOT, or average depth of target. Here's where things get weird. This is one of the more surprising things. Actually, a lot of Mahomes' numbers were shocking, quite frankly. But this is one of the more shocking aspects. Average depth of target is 38th in football. So he's not pushing the ball down the field at all. Despite that, time to throw, 37th in football. So he's also taking a long time to throw the football. So he's not throwing the football quickly, and he's not pushing the ball down the field, which, if you just told me that, if you said, hey, there's a mystery quarterback, he's 38th in average depth of target and 37th in time to throw, how good of a quarterback do you think he is? I would say, like Zach Wilson, right? That's honestly how I would think. Patrick Mahomes is clearly a lot better than that, and what's really interesting is when you go to how he performs specific depths down the field. So this is the chart, and so what it is how well he grades according to PFF, and also what his passer rating is, throwing the ball 20-plus yards down the field, 10 to 19 yards down the field, 0 to 9 yards down the field, and then behind the line of scrimmage, and it's really good in 3 out of those 4 categories. And you're thinking, he barely throws the ball down the field, so he'd probably be great there. Well, again, no. The PFF grade and passer rating, very much not great down the field, but again, these things don't exist in a vacuum, right? And the obvious reason for that, the main thing that you point to, I think, other than a lot of drop passes down the field this season, is how teams are not letting Mahomes just toss the ball down the field and say, hey, don't, just go ahead, Mahomes, try to do these one-on-one matchups down the field. Teams don't do that to him, which, they used to not do because of Tyreek Hill. You do have to wonder, the 49ers are a team that like to play a decent amount of single safety coverages. Do they play some of those here? And can Kansas City do better in those 20-plus yards down the field plays than they have this season? Because everywhere else, they've been great. So despite the fact that, they're constantly Mahomes holding onto the ball for forever and not pushing the ball down the field, the numbers are really good here, though. So that's kind of just weird. It's not quite something I've seen before. Just a unique statistic, and obviously, I think part of it is just scrambling, getting guys out of position, and then throwing the ball 5 yards down the field and getting some yards after the catch due to the threat of his running. That's a factor. Again, a lot of factors in this, but it's just a very unique statistic that I haven't really seen before. Also, moving on to this chart, which is, again, another just unique thing. So if we're talking about he holds onto the ball for a while, okay, well, yeah, he should hold onto the ball for a while. He's Mahomes, right? I mean, he's so good at scrambling and stuff. And it is worth mentioning, time to throw, if you scramble, that does not count. So you have to actually throw the ball for the time to throw to matter. But something like this, so when it's breaking down how he performs when he gets rid of the ball in under 2.5 seconds and when it takes him more than 2.5 seconds to throw the football. This is usually when your play breaks down. That's usually what happens. So under 2.5 seconds, great. Third best Pro Football Focus grade, fifth best passer rating, no notes, fantastic stuff. When it takes him a while, though, which, again, he's known for being such a playmaker, but this season, he's been much better when he's been a game manager type. 9th best PFF grade and 22nd best passer rating. My guess for this is, not the best tackles, so, when plays break down, that could affect certain plays. Also, not the best receivers this season. And again, a lot of people will bring up, well, you can't use full season stats for Patrick Mahomes. I don't see why not. I mean, again, the way I view it is you're allowed to take this information whatever you want. I'm just kind of talking about it in terms of how it's been this season. If you personally think that once the playoffs start, it's a different team, then cool. Then think that. That's you're right. But for me, I do. I think it's at least worth noting and something to pay attention to heading into the Super Bowl. So those are my thoughts on that. Meanwhile, when he's under pressure versus not under pressure, that's a big jump, what you see on the top. So under pressure versus not under pressure, again, he's great either way. He's top 10 in every single thing here. He's the second best PFF grade when he's under pressure, 9th best when he's not under pressure, 8th when he's blitzed, 2nd best when he's not blitzed. But the passer rating difference, under pressure versus not under pressure, is massive. 31st in passer rating when he's under pressure, 7th when he's not under pressure. People might be saying, how is that possible? How is his Pro Football Focus grade so good under pressure, but his passer rating so bad? I'm assuming it's because he's throwing the ball to the right area, probably putting up a lot of jump balls and things like that, and his receivers just aren't making the play. So positive grade of play, but it's not working out. Again, in the playoffs, they kind of use Rashee Rice more. They're targeting Kelsey more. I would imagine that that'll be a little bit better, but it still probably won't be as good as he is when he's not under pressure. Granted, every quarterback is better when they're not under pressure, but even in relation to his peers, there's a bigger jump than the average quarterback has under pressure versus not under pressure. The blitzed, nothing massive here. Again, he plays a little better when he's not blitzed, but the team has played a little better when they're blitzed. My guess is just it's easier to get guys open. If Mahomes can get a guy open, he can hit them. But no clear advantage or disadvantage there. The 49ers don't love the blitz. I'm going to assume they're just going to continue to not blitz, and I think that would be the right strategy there. So, yeah, a lot of unique numbers here. It's a lot of stuff I don't really know what to make of with something like this, but I figured I'd give my thoughts on it. Let you know what I think and just what the numbers say in general. But yeah, what do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.